Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, we're making this video because this week has been a tough week for the fight game, for boxing fans, for people like myself who are involved in this all the time, who pretty much, I would say, boxing is a massive part of my life. This week's been tough because the fight game has lost two key figures this week. Early in the week, it was announced that, longtime heavyweight contender Bert Cooper, he passed away. I believe it was the pancreatic cancer, something like that. He passed at the age of 53, and that happened. And then the very next day, HBO Boxing and boxing's very own, unofficial judge during all the HBO boxing telecasts for all the years, Mr. Harold Lederman, he's passed away. And these are like on back-to-back days. So I just wanted to get my thoughts on both these men because I'm kind of connected to both of them in some ways. We'll start with Bert Cooper. The way I'm connected to Bert Cooper is that, I never met the man for myself, but I'm very close to two of his opponents, two guys that beat him. In Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe, and maybe I can talk to those two guys so we can ask their opinions on just give me their takes on Bert Cooper and their fight with him. Remember about fighting him, but yeah, Bert Cooper was a tough heavyweight contender, man. Like as far as fight with Holyfield, he damn near knocked out Holyfield and gave Evander Holyfield one of the toughest fights of his career, and really tested him, just really tested him and really, made Evander Holyfield have to show championship mettle and championship grit to get to where he got to in his historic and illustrious career. So, guys like him are very important for guys like Evander Holyfield. And then as far as Riddick Bowe, he fought Bowe a couple fights after he fought Holyfield, and Riddick Bowe destroyed Bert Cooper, stopped him in the second round. But every time I've ever talked to Riddick Bowe about Bert Cooper, because that's actually one of my favorite fights from Riddick Bowe, is the Bert Cooper fight. Riddick Bowe has always spoke glowingly and lovingly of Bert Cooper. And everybody that's talked about Bert Cooper, because I'm friends with a lot of people in the boxing world across the world. I got friends in boxing in all parts of the world, in England, in Philadelphia, in California, in Canada, in New Zealand, and all kinds of different places, right? So although the boxing world is a small world, it's a very spread out world, and everybody ever since he died, I've heard just amazing stories about Bert Cooper. It's been nothing but respect, and he left quite a legacy for himself as he was one of boxing's top contenders. He never broke through that top level and won a heavyweight championship. He was never world champion in the heavyweight division, but he was always a tough contender, and you knew that if you saw Bert Cooper's name on the bill, you were going to get your money's worth, and you were going to see a quality boxing match, whether it was against someone that was more at his level who was a tough contender, or if it was an elite fighter like a Bowe or Holyfield, you were going to get your money's worth, and Bert Cooper was going to go leave it all in the ring for the fight fans. And for him, he was a noble warrior. He was one of boxing's true warriors, and to this, all I can say is God bless him. May he rest in peace, and may we continue whenever his name comes up here on True School Sports or in any boxing forum. Speak glowingly of Smoking Bert Cooper, who was trained by Smoking Joe Frazier. So, just rest in peace of Bert Cooper. Nothing but love and respect, and I love watching his fights. So, yeah, rest in peace to him. And then as far as Harold Lederman goes, what can we say about Harold Lederman? Harold Lederman has been a staple in boxing, not just for years, but decades upon decades. He made his name on HBO boxing telecasts. After every round, it didn't matter which fight. After every round on HBO telecast, you'd hear Jim Lampley, throw it over to Harold Lederman, and he would say, "Let's go to Harold Lederman for our unofficial scorecard." And then, you hear Harold Lederman come out of nowhere and say, "Okay, Jim, I got it." Fill in the blank, and he'd say who won that round. And just that whole sequence of events on HBO telecast, it's one of the most paramount, pristine constants in boxing television presentation in the history of the sport. When Jim Lampley would go in between rounds and throw it to Harold Lederman at the scorecard, for his unofficial scorecard, it was always one of the things you look forward to, even if you disagree with Harold Lederman. And there's a lot of people this week that, you know, since he died, that they would say like, man, I love Harold Lederman even though I disagree with him all the time, because, you know, a lot of times, even me, there were plenty of fights where I would say, what the hell is Harold Lederman watching? You know, I got it this. I think the scorecard is this. What's wrong with him? But it made following the fights, it made tuning in to an HBO fight that much more entertaining, because there was that extra element. And, you know, I might be wrong, so my older boxing fans can correct me on this, but I don't believe that I don't believe that people had unofficial score guys like Harold Lederman that would score fights on television as it went along before the decision was actually announced. You know, so it brought a new element to boxing television presentation. Unlike Bert Cooper, I actually had the honor and the privilege and the blessing to meet Harold Lederman on 2 occasions. I met him first in 2015. It was the fight week for the first fight I ever covered, which was Shannon Briggs versus Mike Marone. Shannon Briggs was coming back. It was the part of his big Let's Go Champ movement, and he was fighting Mike Marone, and I was there for his media workout. And there's actually a video. I might actually repost it, because it's a good time to repost it. There's actually a video of when I was at the gym, and they did like one of those Let's Go Champ promos, and Harold Lederman was like, "Where's the champ? We need the champ to come save the day. Where's the champ?" And then Shannon comes and he starts yelling at the camera, "Let's go, champ! You gotta eat right. You gotta listen to your parents. Go to bed on time. Go to school. Get a job." Like, and it was just one of those moments. You know, I know for me it was at the very beginning when I started covering boxing, but it was one of those moments where I was just like, man, it's one of those iconic moments that you don't really appreciate when you're going through. But now it's like, damn, I was actually there. So that was the first time I met Harold. I took a picture of him. He was very nice to me, very gracious, kind person to be around and talk boxing with. That was the first time I met him. The second time I met him came roughly 5 months after that. I met him in February of 2016 when I went to go cover the Terrence Crawford-Hank Lundy fight at Madison Square Garden. And I did an interview with him, and I asked him questions about what was going on in boxing at that time, and he was very nice to me, very nice with his time, and we took time to talk, and it was just great stuff from Harold Lederman, and he's probably, you know, one of the most important figures as far as television goes in the history of the fight game, in the history of boxing. And he's no longer with us, and all I can say is just rest in peace to Harold Lederman. It was an honor to meet him the 2 times that I met him. You know, and how cool is it to say that I you know, this is why I like these are some of the joys that I get from covering the fight game, because it's like I get a chance to be around people like Harold Lederman, who are just awesome people, and people who are just great at what they did. And it inspires me to continue becoming great what I'm doing here on YouTube. So just all I can say is God bless to Bert Cooper and Harold Lederman. They both gave boxing many great memories in the ring, out the ring, on the mic, and all I can do is just say God bless them, God bless their families, and thank you for all the legacies and memories you left for us fight fans. And the fight game will miss you guys. So yeah, let me know what you guys in the comments down below. What are your best Bert Cooper and or Harold Lederman memories? Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, like I say in every single one of these videos. You can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.